So I'm going to share my thinking and what I have collected during these events. As I told you, this international workshop was hosted by the Lincoln University Center of Excellence, Designing Future Productive Landscapes. So let me please think out loud. And in that thinking, I must say that it's not only me, it is Fred, it is Ian, and it's Carol as well. So, ko'o te whenua, ko te whenua ko'o, Pachamama, unsimaka, aina, bumi. You will eat bread by the sweat of your brow until you return to the ground, since you were taken from it, for you are dust, and you will return to dust. And it's beautiful. Thinking has been, this sort of thinking has been around for quite a while, right? So again, I'm the land is me, Pachamama, unsimaka, aina, bumi. From you are dust, and you will return to dust. I'm the land is me. Look at me, walk me, please taste me, warm me up, smell me, think of me, please. Do I need to say anything else? Cure me. Obviously, we have been doing some things that are not correct. Cure me. Like Fred said, we are members of nature's communities. What we do to them, we do to ourselves. Only by nurturing them can we nurture ourselves. We are facing a storm. We are facing grand challenges. Do we need to keep looking at that storm as a storm per se? We are being called for alternative land use approaches to enhance our ecosystem services. What does it mean? It simply means change, right, Fred? The only constant in life is change. During these 6 events, and through all the talks and papers and questions and answers, we've been reflecting quite a lot about our current dilemmas, trilemmas, fourlemmas, you name it, you numbered them. I think the main exercise we've done and we've been trying to do is to rethink, to re-ideate, right? To get us immersed in those discussions of thinking and rethinking. Because I think that's the only way we can set up pathways, future pathways for our grazing landscapes, alternative pathways. Yes, of course, we talk about climate change. We care about climate change. We talk about water. We talk about ourselves, of course. But it's not the landscape. It's not the grazing landscape. It is the multiscape. I remember reading a paper of Ian long time ago and say it's not the landscape, it is the foodscape. So I took that phrase and I transformed it in this. It is not the landscape, it is the multiscapes. So how all this started from a multiscapes point of view, right? If we go to an old definition of the concept of scapes from Aldrich, so it's a view of a specific scenery from a specific perspective, right? So that is the concept of scape. So what are we talking about there, right? It's the view of a scenery from a specific perspective. It is a rabbit or it is the duck. Of course, there is a third party there, right? That party that participates in it rather than only looking at it, right? That takes us to the definition of thoughtscapes, or at least the definition we've created, that geography of mind where we locate ourselves and participate of it rather than simply either control it or observing it. Because our participation in those scapes, we can clearly see whether we are hungry, a roast, of a rabbit, right? But if we change in the time of the year, and if you are an Easter, the same rabbit became an Easter rabbit. The same with the Donald Duck, right? If you're hungry, we look at duck and oranges, right? Looks delicious there. If you're hanging out with our kids, it's the Donald Duck, right? It is that perspective that is quite important and put us in there. So the multiscape concept that we created, not only ensemble grazers, food, people, and places, right? Is it just an exercise of ensembling words? I think it's way more than that, right? The multiscape way of thinking underlies a deep relationship amongst the land, the food, the context, and the participantscape, if you like, that thoughtscape. In that situation, my desires in that drawing take me to my thoughtscape, take me to that beef steakhouse, and all the way to behave, to choose, to a particular region. Of course, depends on you, where you locate yourself, where you come from. That's where we play. Multiscape concept is more than assembly, the assembly of two or several words, right? It takes us to places. It transcends the physicality. Where would you like to eat? Where would you like to go? Where would you like to graze? How would you like to graze them, feed them? Of course, it involves views and ideas of how they, if you like, or us, should be. How people think about the use of our grazing lands, their grazing lands, our grazing lands, in spaces that we all inhabit, physically or mentally. We can think of a stake, be participant of that grazing lands in the bison country. Or sometimes we confuse dairy production with dirty dairy. Where do we want to be? For us, Carol, Fred, Ian, and myself, multiscape is a conceptual framework that helps us focus on the opportunities to challenge the existing ways of pastoral production, created a new, and again, created a new variety of ethical future trajectories by selecting design over default, going back to the initial talk of today by one of my mentors, Hans Hire. I think the picture, taken from one of the paper of Ika Dannhofer say a lot. So what have we learned during these 6 events? Nothing new, right? That we need to keep learning. And that's the way. Everything changed in a blink of an eye. We need to keep learning. So what those trajectories to the future need to be ethical? I think that they need to be embedded in a healthy common unity, integrated, connected, in which animals, including us, of course, and ecological values are recognized. Second, production, consumption, and commercialization should promote an integrated health. Third, of course, sustainable, socio-ecologically inclusive opportunities creator to eat, to farm, to sell, and make money. Making money is not bad, right? Distributing it as well is good. Fourth, exert resiliency by encouraging taxonomical and biochemical diversity, redundancy, and spatiotemporal modularity integrations. I'm getting technical now, right? Fifth, last but not least, encourage tight multidimensional feedback and feed-forward loops at several scapes. So through all these events, and since 2 years ago, when we start talking through emails, telephone calls, video chat, papers, we've been talking about grazing in future multiscapes, from thoughtscapes to landscapes, building health from the ground up. Tenakoto katoa, kotandilia temaunga, con La Plata te agua, Copampas toco iwi, Colel funche toco hapu, no Argentina jauju, con Néstor, Raúa, Comirta, toco Matúa, co Pablo, toco Ingoa. Yo soy Pablo, vengo de Argentina, desde la sierra de Tandil, donde esos pampas cazaron guanacos y avestruces. Mi río es la Plata River, es el río de la Plata, el río más grande del mundo. Mi padre se llama Néstor y mi mamá Mirta. Soy Pablo. Naimihi. Thank you. Muchas gracias. And I hope this is the only start, the beginning of thinking together in multiscapes. Thank you.